Hello everybody, this is Math with Josh. I'm Joshua Phillips. Today's video, a funny little experience I had doing some tutoring. How I am fascinated by how word problems are designed. So I was helping somebody with some math last night based on when I'm recording this, and what popped up was the following problem. Let's see, let's get this font the right size. So the problem came up was, suppose we have 10 to the second power students going to a museum. We'll say it's the science museum since it's a math channel. It costs $6 for each student's admission to the museum. How much money total will the school have to pay? School have to pay to get everyone into the museum. Now, very quickly, the answer here is of course going to be that we have 10 to the second people times $6. And that's equivalent to, of course, 100 times 6, and 100 times 6 equals 600. And this problem was actually specifically in the context of homework designed to get you to learn the 10 rule, that when you multiply a number by 10, you simply add a 0 to it. And when you multiply a number by 100, you add 2 zeros to it, etc. So the problem, the actual question, what's 10 to the second times 6, is actually a reasonable problem. Because the long-range thing you have in mind is, if you have the question, what is 10 to the 5th times, let's say, 21, the skill that we're looking at teaching eventually from this problem is to realize that because this is 10 to the 5th power times 21, the answer is 21 with 5 zeros on it. Now, the purpose of this video is not to say that, asking this question this way is bad. I think it is a little bit awkward. It's that what I'm fascinated by and find pretty objectionable is when word problems ask people something that they would never, ever actually experience that way in real life. So let's look at the wording of this problem again. Just clear the blackboard up a little bit. Suppose we have 10 to the second students going to a museum. Cost $6 for each of them. How much money will we need total? Now, but this is the point of the video, is let's wait a second here. Have you ever, at any point in your life, now if you're a math person, you may actually think this occasionally, but does a normal person going about their day ever say to themselves, well, I have 10 to the second power students here. What would it cost? There we go. What would it cost if something costs $6 per student? Nobody has ever asked the question that way, because of course, in real life, you would have something like, well, I have 100 students, you might get. You might have, in a scientific context, right, because the alternatives are you should pick either a different problem where it makes sense to be thinking of something as 10 to the second, or you should come up, so for instance, you could have something like, we have a floor that is 10 tiles by 10 tiles large. If tiles cost $3 each, what would the whole floor cost? In that case, you go, okay, we have 10 times 10, or 10 to the second tiles, they cost 3 each. That's what I find very, very strange about word problems as I experience them, is that people get asked word problems that are not things you ever experience that way in real life. Because the concept you were supposed to learn here was remembering this multiplying by powers of 10 rule. But the problem doesn't help you with that. The problem is just a bunch of extra words that hide that we're weirdly describing something as 10 to the second instead of 100. So that was the video idea for the day. As always, if you have any homework you'd like to see solved or any math puzzles you've come across, I will try to solve them. If you're interested in math tutoring online or in person, and you're nearby to where I live for the in-person, obviously, just get in touch wherever you're seeing this. I can be found at facebook.com/mathwithjosh. You can also find me on this YouTube page, wherever else you're seeing this content. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a nice day.